So it's that time of the morning where they empty the dumpsters. Um, every time at the same time. It's cool that they do it basically every day. Trash men are very essential. I wouldn't mind being a trash man. Seriously, like they make good money. And that's the thing is like in the society, even if you were to be a trash man and pull down triple figures with overtime and putting in time with the company, getting raises or whatever, and like her looking down on you because you're a trash man and you're not like some um, office guru, whatever, like that can memorize things, but doesn't get her at all. It's like, yeah, okay. So, like, the society is just so, like, completely out of whack. And, it's funny, like, being somebody who was a Democrat, somebody who has been pro like um like I've been pro abortion rights, pro LGBT rights. The transgender thing is kind of like, man, if you can pull it off, nobody's gonna even like say anything. If it's like you coming into the bathroom and it's just like you're just weirding everybody out. So like some of these dudes do a pretty good job of making themselves look like women, and like if they didn't tell you that they were, you might get really confused. So imagine if they walked into the bathroom like that and it's just like, okay. That's a really attractive woman right there standing up using the urinal. That's kind of weird. Just like a big hairy 6'4", looks like he worked at he works at he's your local mechanic, someone like that with a big beard, like in a little schoolgirl outfit or something like that, coming into the women's bathroom where there's like little girls and stuff like that. It's just like, dude, like if you can pull it off, like I don't think that like that's nobody gave a shit before. Like we had transgenders in our society. No, it's just like what you wanted, they wanted to do was assimilate, but what they want to do now is like make everything about them and be like, I want all the attention, like and tell everybody my sexuality, and I need to know all my pronouns and this and that and where you stand on everything, like no, I'm not gonna remember your pronouns, man. Like, you're not that important to me. So, like, if I've had a relationship with you for a while or something like that, like, there's a mutual respect, because I give mutual respect to everybody when I first meet them. Because I don't want to be involved in violence. Like, that's where it leads to, is violence. So like I try to avoid violence. I don't like drama. I like drama in like scripted, or I don't even like scripted anymore, because like some of it's okay. The old stuff, but I haven't been paying much attention to like movies or TV shows, sports. Oh man, I don't watch sports at all anymore, hardly at all, and um, listen to music. Like, it's all kind of like uninteresting and uncreative. I mean, there's some funny things like when SNL made fun of Elon and Trump. That was pretty good. Like, that was pretty good. That kind of felt like a little bit old school, like 90s feel. Like, cool, now let's make fun of everybody. Let's roast everybody. Um, and not just like just to one person or whatever. It's just kind of stupid. But like, you know, I haven't been using X the last few days, really. I haven't really been using a lot of social media. I haven't really been listening to videos and people that I like to listen to a lot. And I've been taking in less content. And I've been smoking more weed. Because what I feel like is I don't need to have this intelligence. Like, what am I preserving? Like, that's I need to smoke weed. What weed does for me is it chills me out, man. Like, I'm fine being a functional pothead, um, and I don't need to smoke it. Like, it's just nice to be able to relax and then use it for my creativity, which is kind of interesting that I have like zero creativity right now. It's very limited. I guess it's just it goes along with the exhaustion everybody is feeling right now. And I think that anyone listening to this video at this exact time maybe can reflect back to this time or whatever and think like, yeah, I did kind of feel like that whenever that was like a feeling back then, feeling just mentally exhausted from everything, just from life and yeah, the ups and downs and roundabouts, and you make a plan, and it's just like, yeah, kind of like, you know, I don't know, like, so I went on there yesterday a little bit, and it's just like they're sitting here talking about Social Security. Well, that was this morning, yeah. Marianne Williamson and stuff like that, and basically the Republicans are attacking. And it's just like, dude, we need some type of reform, man. Like, we need people who are on welfare that can work to get back to work and start like trying to provide for themselves and get off of welfare. We don't need people just stuck on welfare. I mean, we don't need like single moms. Like, you shouldn't be putting yourself in that situation at all. And my opinion is like, I've seen, I don't know if it was real or not, but a woman with like 15 kids, like, man, and you're on welfare? That's not good, man. That's not good. So, and it's just like my opinion on the whole, like, taking care of other people's kids is like, man, I think if it's for like one or whatever, and I mean, you could say two, but if you do more than two kids or whatever, like, you basically are getting a hysterectomy after two kids, and you can't have any more kids because we're not gonna keep like providing. Some people, this needs to happen. They need to be sterilized because they can't control themselves because they haven't learned their lesson from the different men that have been in their lives, and they continue to make the same mistakes. And we don't need somebody who's already needing a ton of charity to like keep reproducing. No, we don't need that. That's a problem that keeps on like growing very rapidly. So they don't think long term. Like they keep on calling people like me fascists, people like Trump fascist, MAGA, Elon. And the funny thing too is like if Elon came out with that fascist salute, the Roman salute like they say he did, which he hasn't done since, and he hasn't liked to comment on, but like I think that he's just kind of more embarrassed about it. Like he didn't mean it that way. It was just in the moment. Like he felt determined. Like he felt inspired that people like supported him and they got the win. You know, like he's sacrificed a lot. People like him or some people. It's rare for me to find like people in his position to be the best people. Um, you know, a lot of these people are wicked people when you have that type of power. But you know, I don't think that was a dog whistle or a salute because he hasn't done it since. I mean, it just came out that he had a kid with a Jewish girl, so it's like his kid's about to be Jewish, and like I don't think that he is what they say he is when they call him a Nazi. They keep on calling him a Nazi. It's just absolutely ridiculous at this point. And these people are not on the right side of history. So like, the best thing for social media ones like this to do is to just be balanced, man. You don't have to like go one side or the other. Just be balanced. Just be neutral. That's the best bet for any business. Really, just be neutral and don't like really try to favor any side. Now, if you're a new business, I think that you could probably do really well if you have the clout and you can push your products out there so people can see it. That's the main thing, is getting your stuff out there so people can see it. If it's cheap or cheaper than the competitor, that's one. Which it'll be, I don't know, it might be pretty, I don't know. But anyway, yeah, so they don't think long term. They don't think about the future liabilities we have with Social Security, and all that is $100 trillion. Like we owe 36 trillion, and they're trying to reduce the deficit so it's not like automatically going up all the time. So at some point, all of our GDP, which helps pay for a lot of our welfare, our military, social programs, that goes all for paying the interest on the national debt. The future liabilities it was just something that the politicians probably stole from or something. I don't think that there's anything there, and they say that Social Security is going to run out in 2033, and that means when it does, if you're relying on Social Security, you're not going to get 100% of your benefits. You might get 75% of your benefits. But on top of that, I wouldn't doubt it if if it's entirely funded by the taxpayer. So like, you're gonna have a lot of pissed off people that aren't wanting to pay as much on taxes on these people, And the more and more harsh our society gets, especially like financially struggling, um, you might see like people being euthanized, or euthanizing themselves simply because like they're a bigger drain than, on the system than it can handle. It's like you gotta have support, and if you don't have that support, then it's like, yeah. So what we're currently doing is bank like what the Democrats want to do is just keep things the way things are going, keep up hostilities in different countries, keep trying to overthrow establishments that don't agree with what you want. Um, and that's what needs to get kicked out. And I want to see arrests. I want to see prosecutions. I want to see investigations. I don't see any of that. What I see is a two-tier justice system where if you're a politician, you can do whatever the fuck you want. And you don't have to be held to any type of rules or whatever. That's what it feels like. Any type of person with like high status. Look at the Epstein list still isn't released. Like, like what is the information? Like, have your team go through the papers that have any victims, redact their names, set the information out. But they're not. Why is that? Why is that? So, like, the way that we were going to run things is put America in complete bankruptcy if we continued with the Democrat track. Okay? Like I said, we would have to continue to pay basically all the money we take in from the taxpayers all on the debt, on the national debt. Well, whatever that is, the interest on the debt at some point, because like it just keeps inflating, and that's the problem. And that's what's cool about crypto and Bitcoin is like you see these currencies, and it's not just our currency, it's like all the currencies are inflating, and they're going to continue to inflate at higher rates. Like, they're not going to exist. There's no saving any of them. The best thing to do is Bitcoin. That's the best one. Um, and that's just my opinion, and it's not financial advice. But what I'm saying is, like, that creates world peace. That's a completely decentralized system where nobody's in charge. if a massive blob wants to form in Bitcoin, then we can get one that counteracts that blob. I mean, it is what it is. So it's interesting times, but like there's no saving the dollar, and there's no like the thing is we're going to need EBT, we're going to need UBI, I mean. And the UBI, which what it basically is going to do is anybody who has, you know, uh, a broken arm or, um, something that sounded like a really bad, like you get your checkups and everything like that. You get all that taken care of. And it's basically like what they have now, but kind of more limited. If it just depends on how healthy you are. So like if you're under a certain amount of BMI, that should go for you. Um, and because we don't want people who are like obese. So like if you're paying if you are like not taking care of yourself, you know, causing a problem to yourself, then like there needs to be some type of reward to be healthy. Okay, that's what I'm saying. And you know, I shouldn't have to. I should be on a different system. I think that like the people who do, you know, the infrastructure work, like people like me, I'm sorry, like we're not we just like are more productive as members of society rather than somebody who's just like a person on welfare that, you know, I don't know, like it's make them go bankrupt. I just don't. I think if you make under a certain amount, you should get free some type of free medical or something like universal medical. And it's coming. It's coming. Like what's gonna happen is like we're gonna have a bunch of people losing. Like you can't find jobs if you're a computer person. It's extremely hard to find, and that's the thing. It's like that's why I'm saying like what should I invest my time in to learn. Um, so I'm not wasting my time. Um, and that's where I'm at. It's like I don't want to learn a skill and then it becomes obsolete in like 6 months. I don't see a point for that. Um, you know, so like I've always kind of felt like that. What should I learn? What should I learn? What should I invest my time in? Like, why am I? I'm not a specialist, man. I think the only thing I'm a specialist is driving a forklift. That's the only thing I'm a specialist in. So that doesn't really pay the bills. That doesn't really do much. They pretty much pay forklift drivers the same as they pay the fast food people. We are like the lowest of the low people in our society. Still, but like you you're gonna have AI replacing so many office jobs. It's unreal, and that's why I say like the rug's about to get pulled up from a lot of women when they lose their job and they're not going to find a job in this type of career, and they're gonna have to like either pick up a manual labor job, like a manual labor job, or they're going to decide like I want to be a wife and mother. I want to be a homemaker. That's what I want to be. Um, but the thing is, it's just kind of like if you have been out here with a bunch of guys and if it's all over the internet and it's kind of like I don't think I want to, like the only way that I would do that if like, you know, some porn star was like ran through or whatever and she wanted a baby, um she would have to be really, 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 really rich. And I am a nobody. So I would have to be a somebody for that to happen, for her to be attracted to me. So, like, it's not going to happen in this type of realm, whatever this is. So, like, for me, it's just kind of like, you know, I'll keep on making these videos or whatever. I mean, it's going to be not so much coming up here because I'm just going to be focusing on working as much as I possibly can. A few different jobs, and I might do Uber Eats as well, because what I feel like doing with Uber Eats is being able to carry my gun with me and feel pretty comfortable that I can carry my gun with me, following the laws. But if somebody tries to jack me or they fuck with me and I'm not in a good area, I can defend myself. You know, I hope it don't come to that, but I don't want, I'm not fucking around. So like, if I'm doing that job, I better, you know, I like to have some type of weapon protecting myself. And like the whole thing with Uber, man, it's so crazy how with Uber, you're just, man, the Uber driver, like this is all gone and like sick, like, see, this is what the problem is. Okay, so the left was going to lead us into basically Germany. We were basically going to be led into Hitler. Like something like, yes, you guys are going to cause the rise of some type of Hitler. That's what was going to happen. If we kept on with your guys' plans, there would be like Americans would finally like, get sick and tired of hyperinflation, war, struggling, not going anywhere, no progress, continue to be slaves, continue down a degenerate path of destruction. It's all destruction. That's what the left's path is annihilation. So it's like you don't want to follow these people. Like they have some recognizations and like problems sometimes. But like it's their solutions don't really match reality that well. It's because a lot of them haven't lived in the real world and like they just read books and like that's good. That's good you read books. And the funny thing is too is like I don't like to read books. I hate reading. I actually despise or I've always hated reading. And it was because I'm dyslexic. I mean, it's a pain in the ass. And it's just like now I'm kind of like I kind of skip, and I'm not gonna sit here and read every single word, and I could just kind of skip, because it's a bunch of boring shit. Try to find like the words that stick out, the bold words. But yeah, like it just like I guess I was wrong about crypto. Like I thought like when we get a Bitcoin reserve, you might see FOMO from the wealthy and other countries realizing that if we make crypto really decentralized and it's really a good price, it's pretty good price right now. We can get off of all of our currencies. I'm surprised a lot of these countries don't recognize this. I think that Brazil might be recognizing it. And then obviously you'd think that Argentina's probably, like they've completely changed around their economy apparently. It took them 1 year. Same thing with El Salvador. They got things turned around very rapidly. And that's what makes me think like, with Trump talking to these leaders that have changed their countries in such a drastic way and in a positive manner, in such a quick way, it makes me think that he can do the same with our country. And we can like change things really, really rapidly, really, 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 really good, like in a positive direction. And yeah, I mean, I think that at this point that we need to get out of NATO, we need to get out of the EU, and basically be like, well, a lot of you people aren't aligned with our beliefs anyway, so I don't know what to tell you. We pay for like a lot, way more than you, and until like you each put in as much as we do, then there's no deal. You know, as the days of America getting screwed over and deals are over, and that's what people have to understand. Is Trump the perfect president? No. Is Trump the perfect person? No, not at all, and nobody is. Is he a good person to lead our country? I think so. I think he's a good deal maker. I think he presents strength. I think he presents wisdom. And he presents, you know, progressive ideas. He really does. The right is so much more progressive than the right in the 90s. They're much more left. This is like me, man. Like, I'm super progressive. You know, I'm really a progressive person, and like, for the longest time I was fighting for like women's rights with abortion. You know, thinking like, oh, 3 months is probably good enough. Like, nothing after 3 months. That was pretty much my stance. Unless like the mom's life is in danger, and like, yes, you have to get rid of the baby. But what, like, the research that I have done, and this is, I'm not a doctor, so it's like, and this is off of AI. Basically, a C-section is a lot faster than doing an abortion. Late-term abortion. A late-term abortion could take a few hours to a couple of days. I don't know. But a C-section is like within an hour they get it done. Like, this is like, it's an emergency, you need to get the kid out, they do C-sections. So like, if there's an emergency and they need the kid out and it's affected the mom's life, you would think that they would rather do a C-section than like just kill the baby, then take, you know, it just kind of seems like a waste of time. You just cut the mom open and take out the problem and save the mom's life. I would think that would work out than doing a late term abortion, but I don't know. I'm not a doctor. There's obviously going to be more factors in there that I don't understand because I'm not an expert. I'm not that smart, obviously. But when I seen that video showing the light happening at conception of an egg and sperm, like, what is that light? That light represents something, you know. It's so weird. So, now my stance is like, that's probably not how, like, and if you're not prepared to have a family or at least be protected, like, there's so many different ways to protect yourselves from like having children, and you don't have to use birth control. You can like, you can use that the diaphragm and make sure the guy has a condom. So it's like, make sure that like you're really taking proper precautions. You know, plan B, if you guys mess up, you know, like, you can take that, you know, the next day or whatever. But it's just like having more responsibility and not just like, yeah, like just being like, not, and it's on both sides too. It's like, why are you wearing a condom, dude? Like, seriously, like, you should, if you're not trying if you're not trying to have a baby, then you should probably try to, you don't know her very well, you should like, what happens if you guys have STDs, you know, if you guys worry about that? Like, you guys are out here just like raw dogging anybody. I'm not saying that I'm perfect, I've done it, but well, not the raw dogging. The raw, without the raw, like, I always protected myself. That's why I I feel pretty lucky, like I didn't catch anything. And then I want to clarify something too. Is like me, like not knowing my body count is it's a negative thing. It's not really like it was mostly like I was hanging out with single moms, and that's what I was like. Basically, like it, they were already with guys before, and most of the women that I was with, that it was like kind of one night stands, is kind of like, what do you like this? You kind of know, like yeah, like that's what this is. That's I don't want to see you ever again either. It's just like, thanks, cool, now leave. So like, I shouldn't try to lead anybody on. I'm not perfect. I was not perfect in my youth. Um, like I was a pretty bad person. I think like my I was in my early 20s and something like that, but I was messing around with my buddy's girl, my best friend too. Messed up. We used to drink, man. I can't say that. Yeah, it's yeah. That's not good. That's not good. So, that there's nothing I can do about that now. I'm not that person anymore. I don't try to hurt anybody. My goal isn't to hurt anybody, and um my whole thing with like dating and all, like the way I took my approach to it was like, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. And a couple of girls, like I could have that same night, but I said no because I wanted to see them again. So I found that pretty interesting. Yeah, I think that was pretty funny. Um, but so basically, moving up here, I failed, and you know, I think that this shows the world something about Michigan right now, where a lot of people have left this state because there isn't the jobs that there was. This was a great state. The Democrats have led the state into the gutter, and with the harsh gun rules here, um, and um, it like flip flopping, and it's expensive to live here for what I get. It's kind of like, if I'm going to not live that great, then like I need to have more accessibility to jobs. So there isn't that here at all in my area. The job, like the job I had, is kind of like, if you don't have this job in this area, you are kind of screwed. So, I lost that job. Tried to find a couple other ones, got rejected, honestly, and I plan on finding jobs, like, I'll take whatever jobs I find. Like, right off the bat, I want to take a couple of different jobs. Um, and we'll see where that takes me. And I want to really focus on working down my debt, working a lot of hours, and getting myself in a better financial situation so I don't have so much debt. and I can actually start helping people instead of basically. I just haven't had the motivation, man. I haven't had the motivation, and it's gonna make things better when my kid pulls more of his weight, like he says he's gonna do. So like, we're both gonna work, and we're both gonna help pay for the household, and that's going to help us tremendously. It's gonna be great for us, and see what happens. Just trying to hopefully, like, this is the last recession. Like, hopefully, like, we're at the end of the fourth turning. We're on the prosperity soon. Like, I'm tired of this crap. I'm tired of so tired. That's what everyone's feeling. They're feeling exhausted. Like, I'm tired of taxes. I'm tired of talk of inflation. Like, if you want me to be an NPC, then I will be an NPC. Then leave me alone. Like, I don't, like, most people don't care about, like, politics and all that news all the time. It's like continuously, like, breaking the Vegas. Like, for me, is I have to know a little bit, especially like with. I mean, I feel pretty solid right now with my assets, that they're fine where they're at, and I don't really have to worry too much like I did with BlockFi. BlockFi, like, oh, and I still haven't got my money back from that either. Like, they still owe me like over 2,000, and I want the crypto because the crypto was worth more. The crypto would be worth like $10,000 right now. Like, I had a point one Bitcoin in there, man. Maybe not. I don't know, but I had 0.25 of Ethereum. I know that, and I had like 14 chain links, so that was a couple $100. But like at that time, and that really hasn't gone up too much. But the Bitcoin, I did have a good chunk of Bitcoin in there, man, and I don't maybe it wasn't at 0.1, but it at the time, it was like I had a balance of like like $2,000. It says like they owe me on some type of like lawyer thing, which I don't know how to get to. Some type of settlement. So like, and there's going to be another scam that comes raining down, because they're some of these are Ponzi schemes. FTX was a Ponzi scheme. You got to be careful with these like exchanges. They are kind of terrible. And things change rapidly with crypto. And just because like I feel safe where my stuff's at right now doesn't mean that like I'm gonna feel safe in 2 or 3 years. Look, I think so. I'm gonna be here for about another month and a half, and hold on, let's fail. And I got a lot to think about, and a lot to get done before like I'm moving and all that, moving back to good old Missouri. So, which is cool. It's cool. It is. It's like I was making it there, man. As long as I'm making it, that's cool. I can't make it here. I can't, and I don't have any type of going anywhere else. I still got my son living with me. So, like, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. So, I want to be optimistic about the future, and it's just like everything is transitioning so quickly, and the future within the next 2 to 5 years is going to change so drastically. What what are we going to do with this transition? And that's why I say we're gonna need the EBT, UBI, some type of UBI. What we need to do is build communities for people. So we have like basically when you stay here at this lodging, you can either pay to stay there or you if you don't have any money or whatever, then you can just work there like a prison. Like as long as like you're doing something to be productive, um, unless you're disabled. Like being disabled is a completely different thing. Um, yeah. So, um, it's like I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. But we don't know where everything's gonna be in the next 5 years. And I'm just kind of like, I'm in my pod right now, and I have to get out of my pod, and yeah, and I'm gonna have to work a lot. And they reduced my credit limit, what I thought that they were gonna do. So like the credit limit I had before, they reduced it a lot. Um, which is fine, cool. I kind of figured they were because like what's happening is my credit's taking a hit right now because I'm reconsolidating debt, which is kind of stupid. But it's just like I'm kind of like with the credit thing, like, dude, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I've racked up a lot of debt, yeah. Um, and I don't want to go bankrupt, but I want to pay my fair share. That's what I plan on doing. Which is, we'll see what happens when we get there, because we're in a recession, and I might only be able to like, I might not be able. I might be able just to maintain my bills, if that. Getting some rinky-dink job, like who the heck knows? Maybe something bad happens and I can't work, and like then what? Like then I just definitely go bankrupt anyway. It's such a going like worrying about going bankrupt is kind of like, yeah, it sucks because I don't have my own place, like a house or something like that, but it's just kind of like I don't want to go bankrupt, and I haven't gone bankrupt. Um, so yeah, um, I think our whole credit system needs to be reformed as well. I think like that's kind of out of date the way they have it. They should be looking at other bills that get paid as well, not just the credit cards. And I was honestly like, I probably wouldn't have done the reconsolidation if I did a little bit of research and seen and understood how they do it. Is I stop paying and they negotiate for me, which, you know, I can kind of do myself. So it's just like, um, I just don't want to deal with it, man. Like I'm just tired. Like I don't want to run a business. I don't know what to tell you. I don't want to run a business. I don't want to deal with all the bullshit that you gotta deal with. Let other people. I don't have that type of energy flow, man. Not all of us have that type of energy where we want to be like hustling constantly. It's gonna be hell for me coming out very soon, but it needs to be done. Um, and maybe it'll finally get that creativity out of me, which I've been slacking. I haven't had any type of creativity lately. Playing WWE, and I've had it for a couple of days, and now I'm done. I'm doing the same thing over and over. I've already played this game. I don't feel like making any characters. I don't. I'm still limited to what I can do. I want to be unlimited. I want to be able to like pick things off the internet, which I can for some things, like when it comes to like t-shirt designs or throwing logos on different parts of like the characters' clothes or whatever. That's cool. I like that. But I want mods. I want to be able to throw um a piece like a hat, something that, something different besides just a picture. I want to be able to do more with. And that's to create my character and to make more detail. And I actually, like, if I can just think it, if I can just envision it and then it appearing, that'll be even better. Um, but yeah, it's no, I haven't really been listening to much content the last few days. I really haven't. I just haven't really cared. You know, Bitcoin isn't doing anything. Um, what is it? We're at threat with World War III. Like nothing's getting fucking like. I like things that Trump's have done. Yes, I do like things that he's done, but it's kind of like, what am I supposed to do besides work? Why do I have to have like this knowledge of all this current events all the time? What does it do for my personal life? It actually makes me more detached from society. So then I don't feel relatable to everybody else. And that's why I like sports, because I like the statistics. I like to trade players. I like to like trading. Trading is a cool thing. Negotiating, come up with different scenarios of different values I can get, and then you can get. Um, I like that. It's something that like a stock trader. But yeah. So that's it for this video. Take it easy.